At 5 years old, my family was taken away. I lost my father, my 2 brothers, my sister, and 27 members of my extended family.
Uyu ni Marcel Mutsindashyaka, umwe mu banyarwanda barokotse jenoside yakorewe abatutsi waburiye abe muri jenoside mu 1994. Aha ni mu buhamya bubabaje buteye agahinda yatanze mu muryango w'abibumbye, ubwo umuryango w'abibumbye wifatanyaga n'u Rwanda mu kwibuka jenoside yakorewe abatutsi mu 1994. Uyu Mutsindashyaka ni umwe mu banyarwanda b'urubyiruko barushijeho kwihangira imirimo, akaba ari nawe washinze urubuga rutangaza amakuru rwitwa UMUSEKE.RW. Umuseke abantu benshi barawuzi kuko ni igitangazamakuru gikora kuri interinete, gitangaza amakuru atandukanye yibanda kuyo mu Rwanda. Marcel Mutsindashyaka ubu akora muri kaminuza yitwa Oberlin College, ikaba ariyo muri Ohio, muri leta ya Ohio, akaba ari naho atuye. Akaba ari umwe mu banyarwanda bato b'urubyiruko bagaragaza ko ushobora kongera kugarura icyizere nyuma ya jenoside yakorewe abatutsi yabaye mu 1994. Mutsindashyaka ni nawe muyobozi wa Ibuka USA. Aha muri ubu buhamya bwe akaba ashishikariza urubyiruko kudaheranwa n'amateka, ahubwo ko nyuma ya jenoside yakorewe abatutsi yabaye rushobora kongera kwigaruramo icyizere, rugakora ibishoboka byose, rukongera rukubaka u Rwanda rw'ejo hazaza. Reka twumve ubuhamya bwe bwose burambuye aheruka gutanga mu muryango w'abibumbye.
For survivors, this is an ongoing one. Justice delayed is justice denied. I stand before you as a survivor of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, and also the president of Ibuka USA. Ibuka means remember. This is a survivor-led association advocating for dignity, justice, well-being of survivors in the USA. Excellencies, Ibuka is honored to be invited as we mark 32 years since the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. As Ibuka, we thank UN for taking this important step in responsibly commemorating this history. Today, I speak on behalf of survivors, those who endured unimaginable loss and chose to rebuild their lives with dignity. And also, I carry a responsibility to give a voice to more than 1 million lives that were silenced. Excellencies, in 100 days, 1,074,017 Tutsis were killed, targeted simply for being Tutsi. It was systematically planned, it was intentionally organized, and people were hunted. Families were destroyed, children were left orphans, women were left widows, many females were raped. Entire families were erased. At 5 years old, my family was taken away. I lost my father, my 2 brothers, my sister, and 27 members of my extended family. I grew up learning to live with loss, but also how to rebuild with the strength and resilience. All survivors like me, including my fellow Serge Gasore, who is in the audience, we were left to rebuild from nothing. The world knew, this very same institution knew. This was not a failure of knowing, it was a failure of acting. And the consequences were irreversible. Lives lost, families erased, generations changed forever. Today, survivors will still live with that cost 32 years later. More than half of survivors will live with the trauma. Over a third will live with severe psychological distress. But the impact does not stop with the survivors. Recent research shows that trauma is carried across generations. It affects our children and descendants, shaping lives even decades later. Healing, therefore, is not only a personal journey, but it is a collective responsibility. At the same time, many survivors face ongoing challenges, health issues, economic hardship, and aging homes. And now survivors themselves are aging, becoming more vulnerable, and in greater need of support. Excellencies, the government of Rwanda has made a tremendous progress in justice, education, healthcare, and housing, which helped us survivors. But this responsibility should not rest only with Rwanda. It should be shared by the international community because it was watching. Genocide denial continues mostly those who participated in the genocide and their allies. For us survivors, it is another form of harm. It erases truth. It minimizes our suffering. In that region around Rwanda, anti-Tutsi ideology continues to persist. It fuels violence. It threatens lives. International community still is watching. But for those affected, this is not something to watch. It is something to act on. At the same time, hate speech is spreading faster than ever before. As you know, in Rwanda in 1994, hate radio, RTLM radio, was just one radio and other few media houses. But today, the same danger has multiplied through social media, digital platforms, and artificial intelligence. Hate can reach millions in just seconds. Once again, should we watch or should we act? Excellencies, we recognize and appreciate the role of International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, ICTR. It laid an important foundation for justice and accountability. But justice, even today, remains incomplete. Genocide convicts are still at large, including in the region and in other countries, where some live freely, where survivors, as we continue to carry the weight of loss, trauma, and daily hardship. For survivors, this is an ongoing wound. Justice delayed is justice denied. No genocidaire should find safe haven anywhere. Justice is not only about accountability, but it's also about memory. The archives of ICTR have not been transferred to Rwanda 32 years after genocide. For survivors, this is about dignity. These archives are truth. They are history. They must be preserved and meaningfully connected to Rwanda, where they belong. Excellencies, even after everything we lost, survivors, we chose to rebuild. We chose life. We chose unity. Some we chose forgiveness. We built families, economies, and communities. But that is the true image of resilience. But you know what? Resilience is not enough. Today I call the United Nations, this very same body, to bring suspects to justice, ensure no genocide convict finds safe haven anywhere, strengthen international cooperation to close the gap of incomplete justice, supporting survivors including long-term trauma and mental health needs, to protect truth, to confront denial, and stop hate before it becomes violence. Never again, it is not just a promise, it should be a responsibility to all of us, humanity. And history will remember not what we said, but what we chose to do. Thank you for standing with the survivors. Thank you for standing with Rwanda.